We just took our Lone Star Adhesive leather scraps and turned them into cash by making some merch that we can sell. We're going to use our LogoJet UV printer and our Aeon Nova 14 laser to do a print and cut that print and cuts cash. And we'll show you exactly how we did it right now.
Do it, build it, make it. If you think that we created, do it, build it, make it. With Kim and Garrett, make it.
What is up? Welcome back. Do you like to do it, build it, or make it?
So do we.
Last week we had our jamboree, and if you missed it, you missed a jam. One of the sessions that our campers got to attend was with Josh from Lone Star Adhesive, where he made some hat patches using both the tricolor acrylic and the leatherette. And he was using that new bomb-ass little hat press he's got, the, what is it, the iron, the branding iron?
Yes.
That thing is cool.
And when the dust settled, we found some scrap leatherette here, and what we found was this leatherette was pretty cool because you could print directly on it. This is one of the sessions that the campers learned, so we thought we would show you, yes, one of the sessions that you might have missed at the jamboree. So we found this leatherette. This is white, this is bright white, so you can print directly on this leatherette and cut from it. And it already has the adhesive on the back, there you go, so that you could just press it directly to your hats.
So today we're going to go ahead and print some of our own logos on this scrap using our new UV printer, our new LogoJet printer, and then we'll bring it over to the Aeon Nova 14 and do a print and cut out our patches. It's like printing and cutting your own money.
It is a little like that. And we're going to show you exactly how we created the print and cut too. So you're going to learn a lot in this video.
Step one, we're gonna gather all of our supplies. We needed some hats because that's what we're making. We're making hats with some hat patches. These are the Richardson 112s. We got these from Lone Star Adhesive also. These are a good quality hat.
Yes.
If I had it my way, we'd have a bunch of flat bills, but these will do.
These are the most popular hats, so that's what we're doing.
We also needed some of that bright white leatherette. This is part of that heritage collection. I like the bright white because we don't have to use any white underbase when we go to do our prints.
Right, we're just gonna print color and cut it. It already has the adhesive on the back like we shared, so it makes it super, super easy.
And that is it. Step two, we're gonna make our print and cut files. I'm gonna jump over to Illustrator and show you how easy it is to make your print and cut files. Here we are in Illustrator. We're gonna start with a new file from a template. I like to use one that I use for desktop lasers. So this just brings it in with my desktop laser size as my artboard, and I have my swatches and everything ready to go. Now we're gonna grab one of our hat patches. I made a bunch of hat patches for Kim to pick from, but she really likes this one. I really like this one. But you know, happy wife. So we're gonna go with this guy.
We're gonna use this one, yay!
It comes in at 6.4 inches tall. That is a big hat.
That's a hat wrap.
That's a hat wrap, yeah. So let's take
That's
it
not
down.
what we're doing today.
Not what we're doing. So with the aspect ratio locked, we're gonna take this down to like 2.5 inches. That is a reasonable hat patch.
There we go, that makes more sense.
I have a lot of room in here. And so that I know what size my leatherette actually is, because I want to make a couple of these, I'm going to change my artboard size. So I'm going to click my artboard tool. I'm not going to try to drag it. Just going to come over here with the aspect ratio unlocked. Now we have about like 11.5 inches of leatherette. So I'm just going to say 11 inches. And then it's 12 high. So we'll just leave it. All right, so here's my new artboard. Now this should tell me about how much room I have to place all my objects. So this is a great looking image, but I need to make a cut file for this piece.
Right,
and I want to give it a little buffer, like an offset. So I'm
now, you don't have to embed the image here. You can just leave it like this.
Yeah, okay. I'm just leaving it linked because I'm going to export it.
Okay.
So to make my offset for this guy, I'm going to copy him. And I'm going to paste one right back over top. So I'm going to say Control-Shift-V, which placed an image right over top of the image. Here, I'll drag it to the side. There it is. Control-Z will put it right back. If I check my layers, I should see 2 linked files. I'm gonna hide the bottom one to keep it nice and safe so I don't mess it up. Now I'm gonna go—
Pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip, keep them safe. I'm gonna go to Window and I'm gonna open up my image trace. These are in alphabetical order. Image trace. So I have my image trace window open. I'm gonna click on my PNG. I like to use the silhouette presets because it's nice and easy. It picks up everything that's not white and turns it black. Give it a minute. Now, if you don't see all of your black, you can mess with your threshold. If you see too much black, you can bring it down. And if you see too much white, you can bring this up. You know, mine's pretty easy, basic black and white. We'll hit expand. I'm gonna go up to my window and open my Pathfinder tool. My Pathfinder tool is actually in my properties menu over here, my properties tab. But I'm gonna unite everything, just in case. Now again, I need an offset for this thing. So I'll go Object, Path, Offset Path. Now this is giving me my default of 0.1389, which looks fine to me, so I'm gonna keep it, but you can adjust that offset here. Now, yes, that looks like a mess. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. It looks like a mess only because it's given an offset to each one of those little objects in there. Now, if you initially do this and it looks jagged, like you see some of these jagged edges here, down here, you can mess with your joints. You can go round, mitered, bevel. Bevel gives you that kind of angled look. I like round, especially when I'm doing a print and cut, so I get a little smoother cut. So we'll go round, we'll say okay. I'm gonna grab everything just to make sure everything's captured here. I'm gonna go back to my Pathfinder tool. Again, mine's on my properties tab. I'm gonna unite everything. Let's go to my layers to make sure everything got captured. Yep, I have one path. I'm gonna lose the fill on this path, and I'm gonna give this path a red stroke because I use red for my cuts. Now we can bring back my original image.
Ooh, looks nice.
I gave it a little buffer, got the image in there. I wanna make a couple of these guys. Let's see how many we could fit on the board. So I'm gonna grab everything. We'll say Control C, Control Shift V. We'll paste it right back into place. I'm gonna start to move it and hold Shift so it'll stay on this axis. I'll just get it close. And get a little closer.
Now, if this were just an object, you could use a grid pattern, but because this is an image, you can't. So you have to do this copy-paste.
Yeah, if I try to use repeat right now, it's not gonna let me. It's grayed out because it's an image. But if I just select my path and I try to go to repeat, it'll totally let me. That image is throwing us off, so I'm having to use Control C for copy and then paste. I'm just gonna select both of these. Copy, paste into place, drag them over.
Hold the Shift key, yep.
Now that I have these two spaced out, these two should snap to the same space this is. So I'm good. I'm gonna grab all of these, say copy, Control Shift V, paste in place, drag them down. Looks good. I can grab all these guys. Copy, Control Shift V, paste in place, drag them down. All right, I have my cut file almost done, but now it's looking like a mess, and I don't know how to line up my laser. So I'm gonna make a few more layers here. We'll call this layer, right? This is my regular layer, the layer that's been here. We're gonna call this one print. I'm gonna say new layer, and we'll say cut. And one more new layer, and this I'm gonna use for my registration marks. We'll call it reg marks. Now, I wanna get all of these cut paths on my cut layer. So I'm gonna select one of these cut paths and go to select, same appearance. Now I should have grabbed all the ones that have the exact same fill and stroke as the one that I started with. We'll say cut, Control X, I'm going to go up to make sure my cut layer is highlighted, and we'll say Control-Shift-V.
Puts it right back where it was.
Right back into place.
Just on a new layer.
And now I'm able to hide each of these layers. I can hide the cut path and just have my print. And I can hide my print and just have my cut. But I need to line both of these up. I need to line my print and cut up. So I'm going to make sure I'm on my reg marks layer, and let's draw some registration marks. I'm going to start with a line. I'm just going to make like a 1/2 inch line, 0.5. I'm going to grab this. We're going to say Control-C, Control-Shift-V, paste it right back into place. And once I get my little rotation tool, I'm going to grab it and start to rotate and hold Shift. This will lock it on the 45s. I'm going to draw a little circle right around them. I'm going to grab all of these guys. Whoops. I'm going to grab all of these guys, and we'll say align center and middle and group. I'm going to use a color that's easy to see with that red dot pointer. Now, if you use red, it's going to be really hard to see that, and it will translate it as a cut. If you use blue, it's still hard to see. I found if you use like a lime green, your red dot's pretty easy to see, and so is the pulse when you try to pulse it. So try to use a lighter color for your registration marks. So I've made one up in the top left. I'm going to copy this guy, copy, paste, and I'm going to put one in the bottom right. That way I'm going to use these guys on the laser to kind of line up my cut. From here, I'm going to say hide my cut, and we'll export as, let's just go to my desktop. KNG hat patch. Export. I'm going to hide my print and show my cut, and now we're going to export this as an SVG. Export as.
Both exports will have the registration marks on them. You want them to be the same, right?
Right. So I'm going to select this guy, just make this SVG, and export. And you'll notice I didn't even mess with my registration marks layer. I left it visible both times. So it should show up in both files. Step 3, time to make our prints. We have our bright white leatherette ready to go over here at the LogoJet UV printer.
I'm going to show you a couple settings of how quick and easy it is to set up your file, and we'll make our prints. Here we are in the LogoJet software. I'll show you just how easy it is to set up a file. The first thing I did was open and double click on my PNG for my hat patch. It's already here. The next thing I'm going to do is open my layout. Double click. It's now where my leather is positioned on the bed. I'm going to give it a little bit of spacing over here. And I know I'm only doing color, so I'm already set up to do color only, and I am ready to go.
Step 4, time to make our cuts. We're going to jump into LightBurn, and I'm going to show you how easy print and cut really is. Inside LightBurn, we're going to grab that SVG that we just exported from Adobe Illustrator. We're going to make sure that everything is ungrouped, but we do need to group our registration marks, because how the print and cut works is it's going to look for the center of this object. So you want to line up the print head, or your laser head, with the center of these registration marks. So we're going to make sure these are grouped together. Now I'm going to grab this first registration mark. I'm going to come to Laser Tools. We'll start the wizard of print and cut. Now once I have this going, I'm going to now go out, place my material in the laser, and I'm going to line up my red dot pointer with the center of this registration mark. Once I think I have it, the red dot pointer in the center of the registration mark, I'm then gonna go and pulse my laser a few times, trying to make sure I have the exact center of those registration marks. And you're gonna have to tweak and move your head a little bit. I brought my speed down to 1 millimeter per second, and I'm just tapping the buttons, trying to find the center of that registration mark with my pulse. Now, once we found the center of our registration mark and we have it all set, I'm going to leave my laser head over that registration mark. I'm coming back into the software and I'm going to set position 1. And once I set position 1, you'll see that it's now highlighted with a red ring. Now it's looking for position 2, so I'm going to highlight position 2. I'm going to just grab it. I'm going to start off by jogging to that selection. Now it should get close, and if it's not perfect, I'm now going to go back to my keypad and I'm going to use the keypad and get what I think is in the center of that registration mark. Now I'm going to pulse it until I find the direct center of that registration mark. Once I have that center, I'm going to leave the laser head there. I'm coming back into the software and I'm going to set position 2. Now it's going to ask if I want to scale my outputs or align with no scaling. And because I printed everything with the same aspect ratio, because my print and my cut were both exported and I didn't modify them at all, I'm going to go with a no scaling. All right, now you'll see over here on the laser area, you'll see ready, print and cut, unscaled. So we're ready to go. Now before I start doing any of this stuff, I'm going to set my speed and power. So I'm going to use 40 speed and I'm going to use 45 power. And we'll say okay. And now for my green, I don't need those to come out at all, so I'll just say no output. I'll make sure my cuts are selected and we'll send it over to the laser. Step 5, time to press them. We're gonna press them real good. We're gonna use our Lone Star Adhesive branding iron hat press.
So this is a dual platen hat press. It means it's heated at the top and heated at the bottom. So both sides have heat on them. And
it has a ridge on the bottom platen that the rim of the hat fits right onto. And then it has a lever down here, right? It fits perfect, like nice and snug. Then there's this lever right here that you snap in and it keeps your hat nice and tight.
now let's make sure we're centered here. Are we centered? There you go.
Just gonna place our, well, first I'm gonna remove the
Ah,
backer.
That was a big thing at the Jamboree.
I'm gonna
making
remove
sure
the backer and then line it up on the hat. This is great because it's got a little piece at the top and bottom. We're just gonna keep our finger in the center. Add one of these little latex pieces.
Little rubber mat.
Little rubber mat right over top.
Making sure not to move the hat.
Don't move the hat. And we're just going in at 280 for 45 seconds.
Now this is attached with a magnet right now, so it is clamped down tight, and then it will auto release at the end of the 45 seconds.
I really like this lever here. I think that was the thing that was really missing on ours to keep it tight. We were trying to stuff t-shirts and everything in there to try to keep it tight. I can't say enough about the lever piece.
Well,
I also like the little lip.
That's custom designed. I think Josh, yeah.
Yeah, he worked with the manufacturer to customize this press to work perfectly with the hats.
Mm-hmm.
I think he saw the pain point everybody was having with the same type of heat press that we were using, it would get wrinkly, it was off center. It just wouldn't attach and adhere perfectly to the hat. Oh, release my lever, pop my hat out. Step 6, profit. So each hat is about $8. We figured if we were able to fit 24 patches on a $15 sheet,
Yep.
that makes each patch about 63 cents. And then we think it's about 3 cents in ink for each patch.
Yes.
So you're looking at like 66 cents for the patch, $8-ish for the hat. So for under $9, you got yourself a hat. I think you could easily sell these for 25 bucks a piece. That's a pretty good chunk of change.
And we will have these in our store. So if you are interested in one of the K&G hats, they'll be in our store at $25 each. But you can use your patron discount code to save yourself 20%. And while I'm here with my advertising, we are a Lone Star affiliate. So if you use KG Make It 10, you can save 10% on your Lone Star order. So that'll make your hat and patches a little bit cheaper.
I think the whole project was super easy. Making the cut file, easy. Printing, super easy. Print and cut was a lot easier than you thought, wasn't it?
Yes.
A lot easier than you thought. And then pressing it with that heat press, that branding iron, super easy.
And
so,
I know you want to do what I want to do and do a whole hat bar at a craft show where they could pick their patch, they could pick their hat. You press it right then and there with your branding iron, and they could take a custom hat home with them. I really want to do that.
yes. I think I just got chills. All right. Well, I am about out of time. I got to go make a bunch more hats. You got to go pick yourself up some hats to make because easy profit. And I'd like to say a big thanks to the Make It Mafia. We love you guys. That is the easiest way to support this channel. And I got to see most of the Make It Mafia
Oh my
at
gosh.
the Jamboree.
I loved
and that
it.
was amazing. I love getting to meet everybody. And I cannot wait until next year's Jamboree.
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better.